Welcome to ACD-Combatives, your combatives and control tactics channel. Please like, subscribe, and share. Hey guys, this is Kurt. Sorry I'm late with the Use of Force Friday. Maybe it's going to be Use of Force Monday, but I was super busy work-wise and had to put this off. So I'm going to do a quick follow-up on Graham v. Connor, and I'm not going to do a breakdown of the incident itself that led to the Supreme Court ruling of Graham v. Connor. But I will link at the end of this video the Academy, the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center, FLETC, has what they call, I think it's called FLETC Talks, and their lawyer instructors do a pretty good breakdown of a lot of different case laws. And I will link Graham v. Connor to that. But Graham v. Connor is the constitutional standard or the case law standard. All force must be objectively reasonable, regardless of option used. What does that mean? Regardless of the option used, it needs to be objectively reasonable. It kind of connects to Scott v. Harris a little bit, but basically the courts identified that it doesn't matter how you get to the force you used. It just needs to be objectively reasonable. For example, if this is a deadly force encounter, it doesn't matter if you drop a piano on their head, like in the cartoons, run them over a patrol car, or use your firearm. If it is objectively reasonable that deadly force was used, could be used in this scenario, then it's skookum. You can totally use whatever means necessary to carry out that deadly force. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So let's get back to the objectively reasonable. Facts can make something that doesn't appear reasonable. And what do I mean by that? Well, based on any given scenario, you can say, well, I feared for my life. Well, okay, that's good and dandy. You feared for your life. But fearing for your life is a feeling, not facts. So you have to articulate what we call Graham factors. These are factors based on the case law, Graham v. Connor, why you feared for your life, to make it objectively reasonable in your report. And these aren't just catchphrases. This is legitimate. He was much bigger than me. We were in the middle of nowhere, and I knew that my backup was an hour away. For my example, I'm 50 years old, I have bad knees, and I have a bad hip. The opponent told me he was not going back to jail and that he was going to kill me. Maybe he was much bigger and stronger, a known MMA fighter or pro boxer, much more athletic than me. These are all facts that I need to be able to articulate later on. Not just, I feared for my life. Okay, we understand that. But to make this objectively reasonable and paint a picture, you have to paint a picture so people understand what you saw. If your report can't be read and the jury or whoever's reading your report can't paint a picture in their mind of exactly what happened without have been there or watching the video, then your report is wrong. It means you need much more detail. You need to paint a picture. He was 6'5" and 220 pounds. He was much more athletic than me. He was 20 years younger than me. I have bad knees. I have a bad hip. He wasn't following my commands. He came at me in an aggressive manner. His fists were clenched. He is red in the face. He took his jacket off. These are all Graham factors. He pointed his finger at me and said, I'm going to kill you. These are all Graham factors. I'm using some pretty obvious Graham factors, but I'm trying to paint that picture for you on how you need to write your report after the fact and how you need to articulate it after the fact, regardless of how that is done. Usually in a report, along with some body cam or what have you. But guys, what I'm saying is your force has to be objectively reasonable, and we use force to control the subject to make the arrest. We're not punitive. We're not using pain compliance to be punitive. We're articulating that I had to use the control to affect the arrest. I was using the techniques to control the subject because he wasn't obeying my lawful commands, that he was under arrest, that he needed to turn around, put his hands behind his back, and be handcuffed. He wasn't allowing me to do that. So I used control tactics to control. So I hope that I've made that point. I'm going to follow up on this with another one because it's super important that this get communicated properly, because it's the bread and butter of use of force and how we would articulate our control tactics later on in a report. Again, this isn't verbal trickery. This is legitimate. You have to be able to articulate this stuff. Paint that picture, that word picture, later on for the jury, and that they can understand that facts equal force. You are allowed to use reasonable force as long as you can articulate real facts in your report why you did what you did. If there was more of that going on in report writing, I think we'd have less issues. But I digress. So I hope you all understand. I will follow up with another video soon, and everybody take care and stay safe.
Let's roll. Hey, let's be careful out.